Now the Kenya House this time round was well curated. Well curated because when you look at the kind of investment they have put inside here to be able to showcase what Kenya can be able to do in all aspects of trade, sports, tourism and all that. I think the output that is expected from here is something that will have a very huge effect on our economy. Because when you look at the numbers that have been here since we started this house, when we opened it officially yesterday, you can realize that Kenyans here have also brought their friends and they are marketing through using the Kenya House. So as Kenya government, it is a worthwhile investment. And then secondly, other than what we had anticipated, and that is why we curated it, we are also having the positives in itself. When our athletes visit the Kenya House, and we have two, one in Miramas, they are training, and they're here, they feel at home because they can be able to get that food, they can be able to get anything that they want that is Kenyan. So at the end of the day, what we've done through the Kenya House is that we brought Kenya here. And our athletes are feeling at home. You've seen the rugby players who, in my view, they have done quite well, knowing, of course, where they came from. So Kenya House has been curated and is really working very well to our athletes.
Speaking of rugby, you have welcomed them here. They finished ninth, the same position they finished in Tokyo. Probably you've said that you're going to give them a permanent training residential in Nairobi. Talk more about that.
The issues that we've realized over time, and like I said earlier, when we joined the ministry last year, we realized that these people had been relegated by the HSBC. And the thing that we realized is that they did not have a training, a training field that befits the international requirements. That is number one. Number two, they had also governance issues. So when we came in as government and we sorted the issue of governance, and we also sorted their training, we realized that they have improved quite a lot. From relegation and back, and also being able to have come to the 9th position worldwide, it means that the efforts that we've done, the federation and us as government, is paying dividends. So what I was thinking, and that is what the ministry now wants to do, is that we want to identify together a place, either Kasarani or at the new Talanta Stadium, where then it can be their permanent abode for purposes of training, equipped to the level that can be of the international standards. And therefore, that is why we've had discussions with the leadership of the federation, and we are going back to Nairobi just to discuss that. Yeah.
And we have had some other events, not apart from athletics, fencing, that we had yesterday, Kenya making history for the very first time. We had a participant, Alexander Ndoro, finishing at the round of 32. And other judo is coming on to play as well.
Yes.
How can you say about that in terms of growing these other sports apart from athletics to give Kenya more medals?
The reason earlier on we were not getting adequate medals is that we did not have a big spectrum of the sporting activities that we participated as a country. Now, and I want to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency the President, because when he came in his manifesto, he spoke about the youth. And that is why the Ministry of Youth, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports was created. One, to ensure that there is a pathway for identifying talent, nurturing it, and monetizing. And over the period of 1.5 years that we've been in government, you've realized that we are going towards that direction. The fundamentals are now ready. What we have done is that now we've picked the teams that are able to represent Kenya internationally. And then we've diversified. And that is why we quickly picked on Ndolo. And we said, as a ministry, we must curate this lady to be able to compete because she has the talent. And you saw what she's been able to do. Having come all the way to World Cup, the Olympics, it was not a very mean task. And therefore, we have diversified. Judo is also here. It wasn't there earlier on. And what we've decided to do is that now that we are concentrating on infrastructure development for AFCON, we've also, as a ministry, decided that within the infrastructure development that we are creating, we want to create those that will speak to all sporting activities where Kenyans can be able to participate. So in the next 2 or so years, we are seeing ourselves being able to bring to the World Cup. And I think the one that will be in the US, you will see the number of sporting activities that we will be able to present, because we are creating that right now through the Talanta program.
Finally, from me, volleyball starting tomorrow.
Yes.
You are the rugby. You saw how the Kenyans living in France came and support the team.
Yeah.
What word of message do you have for Kenyans to come and rally behind the athletics team, the volleyball starting tomorrow, and the judo that is yet to play?
The Kenyans that came, by the way, and let me start by thanking them. You know, when I walked into that arena and saw the Kenyan flag, and I walked down there and I saw the number of Kenyans that were cheering our team, I became a very proud PS for sports. They organize themselves. They are now here to cheer. You cannot expect more patriotism like what those Kenyans showed. And therefore, I would like to call upon those that are here and those that are in the neighboring countries, because most of the countries here is approximately 2 hours by train, to come and cheer this team. Let them also bring their friends to help them cheer. And then let them visit Kenya House. Let their friends also visit Kenya House. They will never go back the same way, apart from having given us that much needed crowd to be able to cheer our teams. That is patriotism in my view, and they should be able to embrace that as Kenyans.
Mr. Pierce, in regards to rugby, we understand the coach's contract is almost coming to expiry, and it has been an issue in the previous years. Maybe as the government, what are you doing to ensure that indeed the coach maybe can get a stable contract? Of course, it's not in your mandate, but what is the government doing so that the team can always remain stable?
Let me tell you something about rugby. And when I started this interview, we talked about governance in rugby. And I want to tell you that for the first time, I think we have the right governance system in rugby of all times. Because when I did my literature review and looked at where rugby has come, where it was at that particular moment, we've done very well. So the issues of coaches, just like we have in the Harambee Stars, is not an issue. It is a discussion that we are currently undertaking, and they will be paid. They don't have a problem. Yes.
I asked about the contract. The contract is almost coming to an end. Maybe do you think maybe you can?
We are in discussion with the contract with the president of rugby, and for us as government, we are there lacking behind the governance structures of federations. In case there is a problem, we come in very quickly. And for now, we don't think that there would be a problem in terms of signing those contracts, because financially they have picked up. And if they will require any support from government, like we have supported other federations, we are there. We don't have a problem.